Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of the Everside Questers Bravos team campaign in the Tales of the Valiant system, which is a 5e variant if you want to think about it that way. Before we get into this week's adventure, I just wanted to let you all know that unfortunately one of my players was unable to make it due to electrical difficulties. Apparently they were having issues with the electric going on and off in their house and were not able to make it to today's game, sadly. But we'll still be playing because I like at least a minimum of 3 players, and anywhere from a maximum of 6 to 8, I don't know, whatever. I don't really have a maximum limit, usually, unless I don't want my players sitting around for like 45 minutes doing nothing. Now, if you've seen this channel before, and you've seen my shorts, you know that I like to double check the monster's CR values here. Now, just to do a quick rundown here, our monster's defensive values are going to be an 11 AC, 23 total hit points, which gives us a CR of 0 for the defensive values. And then for offensive values, we only have a bite attack, which has a rider of some poison damage, I believe, and then the ability to not heal if the player gets infected. But it only does 9 points of damage and has an attack bonus of 6. So when we put all that together, we end up with an OCR, or offensive CR of 2. And when we combine the CR 0 with a 2, we end up with a CR 1. So technically, these Skull Bloom are much more dangerous than they actually are. And we saw that in the encounter. So I'm going to have to make some adjustments to this monster. And with the ability to, nullify healing, this might even make the Skull Bloom even more deadly. So I'm going to have to really sit down and think of how that affects the players, since they can't heal in the midst of combat, especially after combat's over, is the real sticking point here, and bring these monsters back down to a CR 1/2. Now the other thing too is when the monster is actually at a CR 1/2, because of how low the defensive CRs are, this monster technically should be a CR 1/4 because of various factors here. It shouldn't actually be a 1/2 because we're doing it by math and not technically by the stages here. So I'm going to have to make some adjustments to the Skull Bloom here to make sure they are actually a CR 1/2 the next time my players encounter them. And without wasting any more time, let's get into today's episode. Alright, we are back at it, guys, for another episode here, another session of our Tales of the Valiant game. How's everyone doing? We all ready to jump into this?
Ready?
Yeah.
All
Ready
right.
as I ever can be on the mobile.
Yeah. Poor Flame, you have it the hardest out of all of us here. Be playing on your phone.
Yeah.
But,
And for some reason, I'm still not seeing the map, so yippee.
Give me a minute.
Yeah.
Considering that I'm a programmer by day trade, I'm going to really have to look into seeing if there's a way to work some programming magic with JavaScript and getting this thing working for mobiles again like it was in the past. I might have to do that and put that in my portfolio if I can get it working.
That would be highly appreciated.
Yeah, I've been wanting to do stuff like that. To especially build out the game world for Tales of the Valiant, since it's a little different than 5e, but the Black Flag version just kind of died off. I don't know what happened, so I got a couple things on my to-do list that I'd like to do. You gonna say something, Doc?
No, not really.
Okay, all right. So anyways, it looks like we are down a player at the moment. It looks like Lorndar, aka Eric, is going to be not joining us. He's a little MIA at the moment, so we will play without him, and if need be, if he pops in randomly through the game, we will, fit him in as usual. That goes for anyone, because I like to play the game with at minimum 3, maximum whatever, probably 8's too many people, but, 6 is a good high end for me. So,
Yeah.
I did a little just to recap from last game. I realized that I had forgot to award luck points to you guys, and so instead of going through the video and double checking everything, I just kind of scrolled through the chat logs, and I noticed that you guys only missed 2 attacks actually out of all the attacks you all made. And the 2 missed attacks was one for Gorn with his Eldritch Blast and one for Zix. That's it. Everything else hit. It just might have been rather low damage, surprisingly enough. Actually, it looked like the Skull Blooms actually missed more often. So, surprisingly enough, you guys have been awarded. I've retroactively awarded the points to Zix and Gorn. So, Zix, you should see that you have 1 of 5 luck points now. And as a reminder, I double-checked the rules for that too. You can use your luck points after you roll the dice to determine if you've hit or not. So you can use as many luck points as you want. Another rule that I totally missed when reading through the books, and maybe this was added into the alpha rule books at some point, or I just kind of scanned over it. You can use 3 luck points to act like advantage. So if you have 3 luck points or more, you can use those 3 to roll a second die and get yourself advantage if you want, rather than just pushing points. So you have a nice decision to make with your luck points.
Yeah, also, I wanted to correct something because I've been rolling the checks with double my proficiency bonus, but it turns out that right now it's only activates on traps, so retroactively my alchemy should have been 27.
Okay. Well, that's not too big of a deal.
If you wanna, I could use a luck point and make it 28 to be more closer to the number.
Well, regardless, even with a 27, whatever you had there, it's going to be more than enough for the alchemy check that you rolled from last game. So I'm not too terribly worried about it.
Okay.
Yeah, in
You're the DM.
Yeah, in 5e, and I'm assuming Tales of the Valiant, considering they're working more or less off of the same system. You know, what was it? 20 is like a really hard check to pass. 25 is near impossible, and then 30 is what they would consider godlike. So DC 30 is generally nothing you're going to hit most of the time, except maybe for Zix and his alchemy skills and whatnot.
So, the tool. I am the tool.
Exactly. So with a 27, you are definitely hitting this check for, starting to work out some kind of a formula here, some kind of an antidote for this disease that you have. So does anyone remember where we left off last time?
Inside the lots of lots.
Yeah, there was the family and that one guy that acted kind of strange.
Yep. Yeah, there was the guard, a woman. Let me pull up their names again. Let's see here.
Shopkeeper and their child.
Yes. So the guard is Kaylee. Her husband Stu is the owner of the general store. Their daughter is Hylia, and then there's also Jurek, who is the one that was kind of like, what's going on over here when you were doing some concoctions with the alchemy stuff there, Zix.
Yeah, so kinda came to the conclusion that I basically bought the potion making so they can make any more potions.
Well, that may or may not be the case, Who knows what they have left behind there, but these people, especially Stu, are always out to make a buck, so you don't really have to worry about feeling guilty for buying their only way to make potions.
And besides, it's not like they were gonna use it to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Yep. Alright, so, you have a little bit more information on how to cure this disease that you have, the apocalyptic fungus growing within inside the three of you. And, right now you're still going to need maybe more samples or a little bit more time to figure out some my cat just moved my mic. Whacked me in the face. So yes, you're going to need a little bit more time to figure out an antidote and even some possible ingredients. But at the moment, you're on the right steps here.
But I've had 2 weeks to do it.
Oh yes, it's been 2 weeks, but still not enough time.
Oh, Haggett, who was mostly silent after the fight, actually we'll go back into the shop. He's gonna ask the shop owner.
Well,
Do you
we were in
know
the shop.
where? Oh, I thought I heard we was outside of it.
No. At the moment, you were all within the lots of lots building. On the map, I just left you guys there because I don't have a good
Yeah.
map for inside buildings right now.
Let's go outside
Fair
in the
enough.
middle of zombie apocalypse. Jeez.
So you wanted to talk to the owner there,
Yes.
Haggett? Okay. What are you looking for?
Do you know where the source of your well is?
The source of the well?
Yes.
You're asking? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Actually, it's deep down inside the mountains, and he points off to the east, and he goes, "Yeah, it's kind of off the caverns in there, within where where Belgrove is. Although you're going to have to deal with all those myconids, and myconids are probably what caused all this apocalypse with this fungus and whatnot, and the spores. But yeah, if you want to get to the water, you're going to have to go into the mountains and the caves."
Other towns that use that source for their water?
Not that I'm aware of, no. I believe that this is just for us here in Hulgig. I mean, the water might flow from the mountains underneath, but beyond that, that's as far as I know, is just this small little settlement here.
Noted. Thank you.
No, not a problem.
And she will turn to her kobold members. I think it'd be best if we deal with the source. This might lead to more trouble in the future.
Wait a minute, I almost got this. Zix is still playing around with his newly purchased alchemist supplies.
She looks at him for a moment. I'm not familiar with alchemy or whatever it is you do. But isn't it best to have the source of the disease in order to cure it?
We are the source.
Yeah, the infected. That's different, I'm pretty sure.
I mean,
Is it different?
they were outside. I can just go pick it up. And by the way, yes, I had the piece of a zombie when I started this.
Yeah, of course. Yep. Yeah, if you peer outside, you'll see that the corpses that you had encountered are still there, although they do seem to be, if you give it a little bit of time, it does look like they are actively and visually decaying quickly before you. So whatever animating forces were giving them life, now that they are dead, dead, are decaying even faster, or maybe absorbing into the ground, something to that effect. Something's happening to these bodies.
I looks outside at the quickly decaying bodies. I still don't feel safe leaving that source unattended to. Also, where is this item we were told to look for?
You asking me or the group?
The group.
Okay.
But specifically Zig, since he's the one who brought us here.
I think that Zix has had the information that the item might be on the mechanist territory.
So we have
that it may be where the shrooms are. So we're gonna go there anyway.
So you're thinking about heading towards the mountains then?
probably the best. We might need to get some healing potions. What? Did we already check if we filled any?
Yeah, they're going to have a couple healing potions if need be. I also have the cheaper versions, the light healing potions, that are going to be custom to this game. So those are like 1 gold each, but they heal 1d4 plus 1 hit points. Let me find them.
2
Yeah,
healing
I'll buy
potions
one then.
unnecessary.
Healing.
Same.
Um,
Although I don't think I can heal. I think that was another
Yeah, we
stipulation
can't
of
heal
the.
with this. We can only heal with a long rest, and that advances the disease.
I think we can also heal with short rests, if I remember correctly, using hit dice.
Well, here's a reminder. Let me
No.
pull
I
up.
think it's.
Let me pull up the disease here, and just give you guys a
I have
reminder.
no gold.
Let's see here. Triggers effects. An infected target can't regain hit points, and when it finishes a long rest, must make a DC 15 con save. It's just so you know, you have basically a flat check on that against the check, or gain 2 levels of exhaustion. When the infected target reaches the 6th level, they die. Well, they become a skull bloom and technically die. If a human is infected with apocalyptic fungal spores, it is killed, and it rises later, an hour later, as a skull bloom. So while you guys are infected, you can't regain
You can't
hit
heal,
points.
period.
Yeah.
Serious? Oh.
Fun.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
a good thing we got
Alright.
this level 1. We got that out of the way.
It's a good thing you have an alchemist, guys.
Eric
Well,
thinks about it.
mechanics.
Alright, then I suppose the best idea is to first cure the disease in us, then go to the mountains.
Wait. Maybe not. Because when you're fighting, the storms after they beat us, they didn't went for us, but for Kobold, yes?
As I remember it, yes.
We might be able to work with that. If we are willing to have this in us longer somewhat. I'm not saying it's a good idea, but it's an idea.
She frowns, stays there, then she looks at the shop owner. How far are the mountains? The caves from us?
Okay, I'm back. I just had to take care of something real quick. So I had totally missed like the last few minutes. What are you guys looking to do right now at the moment?
We were discussing about what best to do. Harriet suggested they cure the disease first, then head out, but they said that maybe they could blend in by using the disease. Then Harriet asked the shop.
Yeah, by passing by the other infected.
Then Harriet asked the shopkeeper how far the cave is from them.
All right, so you're gonna ask how far the cave is. Yeah, if you do, the shop owner pipes up. He's, oh yeah, it's not that far of a walk. Maybe 5-10 minutes or a little longer. You can see the mountain from here. So if you do, you look out the windows, and as he points, you can clearly see the mountain. It's a pretty quick walk. Won't take you very long to get there. And he pipes up. He goes, before you go, you might want to stop in and see the town leader over in the longhouse. Might be best to stop in there. They could probably help you out a little bit as well. Merwyck. It's our spiritual leader and head of the town. They might be able to help you out. Before you go, best to check in with them just to let you know what's going on.
I suppose we can do that first. Is anyone against that?
I'm not.
Can I ask something? So technically Zix is already done with his experiments, but he needs more samples, right?
Yeah, for the time being, you're on the right path. You're going to need more samples and more time to work with this. this disease, since it's something very new and
Yeah, so he's gonna pack up and say he is ready to go.
okay.
Alright, then let's go to the longhouse and decide from there.
Okay. Traveling over to the longhouse, you guys walk and leave the lots of lots. So far, the town's been pretty quiet. You don't really hear anything as you're traveling between the two buildings. You can see that there are a bunch of other houses in the area that may have contents that at some point you may want to investigate. That's entirely up to you. Beyond that, though, you don't hear or see anything as you walk over to the longhouse. Nat?
Can Zix make a mental note of the houses that you said were interesting?
Well, so any of them could hold contents or goods that you might be interested in or need, but how dangerous they are or whatnot, that's up to you to figure out. But I mean, if you want to take a do like a perception check, you're more than welcome to.
I mean,
If I could see Zix trying to head off into one of the houses, he's not dragged by the collar.
a perception check shouldn't hurt.
Now, perception check, unless you're going to the house, I would say then I would call for an investigation. But right now, as you're walking to the longhouse, perception check would be something to kind of get, give yourself an eye of like what's going on with these houses, the abandoned ones.
Yeah, minutes. So
And for all of us.
idiots.
Yeah, if anyone
No.
wants to check out these other houses, you guys can all roll. And here, let me give you the perception check thing real quick.
I was about. Can I do?
Of course, Haggard will, but she's more on the lookout for any undead
Damn
as
it!
he's taking the lead.
All right,
Oh, these look like normal human houses to me.
let me see here. Undead. What would be a good undead check?
If you say so.
Religion, maybe?
Yeah, that's what I was
What?
thinking.
Technically, nature could also be, because
I don't know if you can see it, Haggett, Flame there. In the chat window, there's a button.
I can.
Okay. So for...
I have a 0 inversion. Right.
well, you seem to be more of the offensive cleric than the defensive holy studies cleric style.
True.
Okay, so for Terex and Zix, you both, scan the abandoned houses, and as I mentioned before, those are all in states of destruction. It's hard to say how long ago this happened, but the paint on the houses and the way they're built, they look like they've been pretty well maintained up until a couple days ago. Okay. But you don't really see anything that stands out to you or makes you concerned looking at the abandoned houses. Each one of those kind of looks the same to you. Any one of those could be a good pick. And between, I believe it's 9 houses, there are 7 of them that have been abandoned from the looks of things.
Okay.
Haggett, with your 16 and the religion check, you're not really seeing anything in that looks like it would be undead of some form or another. So right now it looks like
Alright.
the streets are pretty quiet traveling between these houses.
Alright. Let's move on quickly.
Just waiting a moment for Mike to get back.
I'm just gonna say it would be really funny if this whole campaign we had the running gag of we can see shit in the light.
I'm really hesitant to go to the mountains right now, though. I think 2 of us are under half health.
Yeah.
Yeah, Zix and Terex, you guys are both at half health right now. And Haggett, you're close to bloodied.
Yeah, so I'm like, that was from one combat. 2 in Haggard's mind, is he really willing to go to take her clansmen up to a dangerous place while none of them are in the best of conditions?
Yeah, that's the tricky part right now. This darn apocalyptic fungus that you guys have.
Yeah. So my idea for now is to go get what information we can from the longhouse, and depending on that information, decide if talk to the others to see if they if we should focus on getting rid of the plague first, then go into the mountains.
Well,
For
consider.
instance, we can probably.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, if anything, we can probably get ourselves infected again, considering the source, there's a water source of it in town.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the hard part. But even with a passive insight check for Haggett, you would know that you would want to be able to heal before getting into any more dangerous situations. So, at the moment, you guys are in very tense, delicate situation after that initial combat.
Yeah, so I'm just heavily leaning and let's focus on getting ingredients to cure ourselves more than let's take out whatever methods are causing the disease.
Yeah.
Zix will say that he would need to have another sample of the zombie to have any idea how to even begin to reverse the disease.
The Myconids know. If it came from there, then the cure's there, right?
In theory. All right, now that Mike's back.
If they're meat, yeah.
Oh, I've been back. I said I was back.
Oh, I didn't hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I missed it too.
It was during a long silence.
Anyway, on to the longhouse.
All right, so was there anything else you guys needed before I get into this whole longhouse?
Well, I don't think I'm out this year right now.
Oh, no, really?
Okay.
Okay.
Oh. Right on cue.
I'm just talking to my dad, so I muted myself.
Okay. All right.
I'll stay muted for a little bit, but I'll be here.
Okay. All right, so as you guys finish walking between the two buildings and peering at the other abandoned houses, you come across the Longhouse. In the town center, there is the Longhouse, painted blue and trimmed in navy. Well-trodden paths lead to this place. Once it was surely vital to this town. Now the windows are shuttered. Neither light nor voice dwell in this place any longer. So as you come up to this Longhouse here, it's rather large, and it looks large enough that it probably could house the entire community here at Hulgig. You know, except for the couple people that are at lots of lots. But beyond that, you can clearly see that every window seems to be either barred or shuttered closed. And the doors are also closed. Whether or not they are locked or blocked, that will be up to you to find out. What would you like to do?
I'll try a door.
Terex, as you go up to the first door here at the Longhouse, you do try to open it, and it does seem to be wedged shut. And as you do, you're making this noise, and you don't hear anything coming from within inside the building with a passive perception. So what would you like to do?
Locked?
Truck? What was that?
Locked.
Oh.
Zix asks if it's locked.
Terex, you notice as you're trying to open the door, it doesn't seem locked. The mechanisms that close the door, the latches and whatnot, seem to be moving. It just seems as though maybe there's something wedged behind the door or something barring the door that's stopping you from being able to force it open.
Does the door open outward or inward?
Likely inward.
Yeah, to be where something will have to
I'll
keep
try
it.
shoulder checking it then.
Okay, you want to shoulder check it? Then give me an athletics check here in the window. Oof.
All right.
With an 8, you go ahead and give it a good old thud, but it's you didn't maybe give yourself enough room to get it ready or whatnot, but yeah, there's a quick thud and it doesn't even budge a little bit.
I have an idea. I'm gonna take out my tinker tools and I'm just gonna screw the door off its hinges. If I can see it.
Now, you...
I can see this.
Alright, you know what? As you go up, give me an investigation check here, Zix, in the chat window.
Technically, since I'm looking for parts that I can tinker with, should I add the D8?
Well, right now you're just looking to see if you can find the hinges.
That's 16.
I guess
What about Haggett?
I just looked at this and said, "Did we first try knocking and declaring we're not zombies?"
That has not been tried. But Zix, you look through and you notice that, yes, this door opens inward, so the hinges would be...
Inside, yeah.
Yeah, the pins for the hinges would be inside, and you'd have to open the door to be able to unscrew the hinges that are keeping this door in check. But Haggett has proposed an idea.
Haggett won't walk up.
I yelled to any crack in the door.
What were you looking to do, Terex?
Try to call someone because I had said earlier, like, we just yelled through the door that someone should show up, and I tried yelling.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. Did you try that before shoulder checking the door?
No.
Okay. All right. So Haggett, you suggest that try calling through, and sure enough, Terex, what do you say to try and get attention of anyone that might be in the longhouse?
Hey, we're here to help you.
Okay. Give me a persuasion check here. Oh no!
Oh no.
What?
Maybe it came out more like, hey, we're here to hurt you.
It's very likely, but whatever you
These
attempted...
words are weird to me.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, there's no sound whatsoever, and the door remains closed. Anything else?
Well,
No.
What did you say there, Zix?
Well, I was about to ask, are there any kind of windows that we can technically go through, but I remember that they are all pretty much boarded up.
Well, you guys didn't really give a good check. I mean, you were looking quickly from as you were approaching the longhouse, and it looked like some of the windows, or all the windows, may have been barred or closed. But if you'd like to give another investigation check on the windows, you are more than welcome to do so.
Well, what do we have to lose at this point?
our dignity.
All right. Zix and Terex, you both start to circle around the longhouse, and sure enough, you find the Terex. You find that one window looks like it is viable enough to be potentially slipped through if you were to climb through. So, if anyone, as you maybe go back around and grab Haggett and Zix, you can come back to the this one particular window and make an acrobatics check. Anyone that wants to start climbing through.
Well, can I? Well, can I ask Haggett to help me get up there, since I am smaller and probably he can lift me with no real problems?
It looks at Zix and imagines a kobold climbing through what's supposed to be a secure window into a room full of frightened villagers does, it's not going to end well. If you don't mind, I'd like to try the door one more time before we attempt this. Is that
Okay.
fine?
Okay, and this is gonna try time again. Anyway.
All right.
Oh!
Haggett sighs and walks back to the door.
All right, so Haggett, you're walking back to the door. While you're doing that, Zix, you and Terex try to clamber through the window, and I see this as kind of like a really comical moment where you both kind of do it at the same time without really any coordination. And because Zix is smaller of the two kobolds, you kind of scrabble through and maybe start to climb on Terex as well to try and get through the window, and you are able to successfully maneuver and get yourself through the window.
I got it!
Face.
Then I'm gonna take out my rope, I don't know, look around the room to tie something and then throw it to Terex so he can climb also inside.
Yes, at the moment, Zix, you are currently like between the window and some furniture that was pushed up against the window, but not completely like butted up against the wall. So you haven't spotted anyone quite yet, but you're still like in this in-between area. Do you want to try and pull Terex up in, or do you want to?
Well, I'm gonna take out my rope that I am pretty sure I have in my inventory.
Okay.
Yep, I have 50 feet of rope, so I'm gonna use the one piece of furniture as an impromptu point to just be tethered, and the other end I will throw to Terex, and when he says he's ready, I will pull the rope.
Ready?
All right.
And I begin pulling the rope.
All right. So go ahead and make the acrobatics check again with advantage, Terex, since the rope's there for you. Oh yeah, yeah, with a natural 20.
This should do it.
So, with Zix's help, Terex, you clamber up into the window, and you guys can start sliding in between the gaps that are left by the furniture pushed up against the window. And from there, we will transition to Haggett, who is trying the front door once again. So, Haggett.
Yes, could you remind me of the shop owner and the town leader's name?
Yes, the shop owner was Stu, and the leader here of the town was Merwyck.
Merwyck. All right. Has knocks on the door lightly this time. Greetings. I am Haggett, and me and my brethren were sent here at the suggestion of Stu to meet your town leader. I instantly forgot the name. Merwyck?
Okay. With that, go ahead and roll this persuasion check. I'm giving you advantage. Don't worry about rolling advantage. It's already in the check, or at least it should be. So you're getting advantage for using the names to try and calm any inhabitants that might be in there. Oh, that's right. I don't see you in the... Looks like you got kicked out of Foundry again.
Yeah, I can roll for... I can select Haggett and just roll for him. If that's alright.
Sure. Because now I have to reload this in.
Okay, yeah.
19!
That 19 definitely works. You hear a few footsteps and some murmurings as a few people rush over to the door and start to push and slide whatever was barricading the front door to the longhouse away. So as they begin to let you in, Haggett, Zix and Terex, what are you doing? Now that you are, inside the building, but still behind some of the furniture that's barring this window, partially closed.
Is there... I assume that we can see at least partially in.
Yeah, so you're looking through a couple cracks and whatnot through the furniture?
I mean, better to know what's on the other side right now than find out as we tear it down.
Okay, so as you start moving around, you can see through some of the furniture. There are roughly about, let's see here. There's 8 human villagers. A couple of them are heading towards the front door, as you barely heard Haggett knocking on the door and making an introduction. You can see a small folk as well, dressed in leathers and whatnot. Passive perception-wise, you think that this particular person might be a druid. And then with that, there is a dog that has started to make its way over towards you and is sniffing at the area. So you're seeing roughly a total of 10 inhabitants, if you include this person who may or may not be Merwyck, a bunch of villagers that all look like, commoners, humans, and then a dog, Mastiff, basically.
I'm gonna tell that to Derek that basically I see 8 humans, little guy that looks like a druid, and a dog.
Any thoughts, Terex?
I didn't know humans came in small
Let him
sizes.
get your scent, he'll be friendly.
All right. So what do you want to do? Now you have a dog kind of sniffing around here and investigating the window here.
I'm gonna hold my hand out and let him get my scent.
Okay. Let's see here. How do I want to handle this?
Turns out that the dog is especially trained for sniffing out the disease.
Go ahead and roll a persuasion check. Since you're non-threateningly, there's going to be advantage in this check. So don't worry about rolling it. It's already included. All right. 19. So let's see here. Real quick, let me pull up. Where are they at? Do you want that? Okay. Yeah. All right, so the dog is, this Mastiff is going ahead and sniffing the area and then happens to catch the whiff of your hand and then starts to sniff at your hand through the barricade, and the tail starts to wag that you can see. And a few of the villagers are looking over at the Mastiff and kind of murmuring to each other, pointing and wondering what's going on over there. They can't really see your hand, but they can see that the dog is investigating something here and sniffing and, happily engaging in whatever it's found. Your move, gentlemen.
Oh, I'm gonna try making my way out of the room now.
All right.
Since I know the dog's not gonna tear me apart.
Zix?
I guess to get into the room we would have to take down the barricade.
Not necessarily. The way it's positioned, you could clamber through. This would be technically difficult terrain, so you could climb your way down and through. It would just take a little bit of time. I'm not too worried about dismantling it because you guys are kind of
Yeah, I have a climb speed, so that would make it easier for me, right?
yeah, you could get through it no problem.
I'm gonna ask the Riggs. So, you first or me?
We'll go first, and then that way, if the dog tears me apart, you don't have to get torn apart.
Oh, that's a good plan.
All right, so while you two are clambering down and befriending this Mastiff, Haggett, you start to hear the stuff moved out of the way, and the door does open, and you are ushered in quickly as this smaller person goes to you. I believe you said your name was Haggett? Well, I heard you must have stopped by the lots of lots. Quick, inside. Do you have any friends?
Yes, 2 of them. They weren't certain how to get in and tried to look for a different way. If you see 2 more kobolds, don't panic. I'll reprimand them later.
Ah, excellent. Great. So quickly, come inside. And he's like looking around.
Yes.
And then as you enter into the building, the other villagers just quickly bar and block the door once again. And they kind of go back to their thing. But Merwyck stands in front of you, roughly, I'd say, halfling size. So this is a small folk. And in terms of Tales of the Valiant, they don't really have a distinction between gnomes and halflings. But I envision this as a halfling for this person. And he stands in front of you and let's see here. Let me pull up some info so I can give you a little bit more info on, who they are. So as you're looking,
Picture for him?
Go ahead.
Have you got a picture for him?
Unfortunately, no. There was no art included for him, and I didn't make any. But
I kind of also find it funny because Hyde is the Dragon King, yes? So he's technically bigger than him.
Yeah, he is actually. So, oh, actually, no, he's not a halfling. He's a gnome. Excuse me. So he's even smaller. So Merwyck here has pale green eyes and deeply furrowed brow, balding with long fringes of copper hair, thin voice, wears dun woollen robes covered in dog fur. Sprigs of rosemary pine to his breast, carries a staff wrapped in petrified blackberry brambles. So this is who you're talking to, this Merwyck. And so he turns to you, or, looks to the people that are ushering by and then turns back to you, Haggett. He goes, so, what can I do for you? How can I help you? I'm surprised to see visitors here, especially in such a stage that Hulgig here is in. What brings you to the town?
Yes. We're traveling mercenaries who were stopping by for a mission.
Oh, a mission, huh? Interesting.
Yes.
Who would have sent you here? I mean, I'm grateful. Hopefully you're here to help the town amongst whatever other reasons brought you. But, yeah, it's quite a strange time to be here.
Ada grits her teeth, thinking of this. I wonder that too. But since considering the situation of town, we decided to help.
Well, that's great. That is fantastic to hear. Let me see something real quick here.
Stu said that the water source for the well was in the mountains.
Oh, yep, that is indeed true.
Okay.
Yes, with the
I'll
myconids.
be right back.
All right, go ahead.
I'll be right back.
All right, so while they're chatting, a few, you now, Zix and Terex, you guys clamber down through the window, and the dog is just there, kind of panting at you, wagging its tail. What would you like to do? You do see. Sorry, hold on. You do see over at where the front door would be. Haggett has made her way into the longhouse, and it looks like they're talking to potentially Merwyck. Oh, let's see here. Let's see here. Terex wants to pet the dog. Do I have any info on...
I think he just shouts that. I don't know.
I mean, the dog is wagging its tail and doesn't seem to be growling. If you want to do an insight check, you're more than welcome to. Let's see here. Insight check in the window there if you want to roll. Yeah, with the body language of this dog here, you are more than welcome to pet the dog. Looks pretty friendly, kind of panting, does all the general signs of this dog wants to be pet.
Then I will pet that dog.
Okay.
I'm back.
Does anything... Is there anything else besides the barricade and the dog in this room?
Yes. Let's see here. Let me get back to the longhouse here. So as you look around, what do we see here? A lot of heavy furniture that's been pushed in front of windows and in front of the doors. Looks like there might be some barrels potentially, but beyond that, nothing really else. Like everything has been moved from the center of this building, this longhouse here, which you would gather was used for, votes and meetings and whatnot from all the elders or the leaders of the town here.
Like a town hall.
Yeah. And it's just been scattered to the windows and the door to protect everyone in here. So this is just basically an empty building at the moment.
Okay, so... I guess since... it's just empty and Hulgig is basically paying a distraction. Zix is gonna go hide because he doesn't want anyone else to know that they are here.
Okay.
And that includes Hulgig, by the way.
All right, go ahead and give me...
He saw you two climbing.
Yeah, but I can still hide.
You can hide, but
All right, so while
you can hide, but you can't run.
while Terex, you're petting this dog here, Zix, you kind of slip back into the barricade of this particular window and hide yourself from anyone that might be, looking for you or looking at you or something, or curious as to what has happened here. But for the most part, any of these commoners, the villagers here, are kind of keeping to themselves and just kind of chatting as they're more distracted with Merwyck talking to this kobold here, who you all know is Haggett. So, back to Haggett here. What was the last thing you had asked?
As he had just says, oh, right, the water source is in the cave.
Yes, yeah, indeed it is. The water source is in the cave here, and you'll have to deal with the what are their names? The Myconids there in Belgrove.
Myconids.
Yeah, the Myconids have a town deep within the mountain here called Belgrove, and they may be a source of this problem. I haven't been able to get into contact with them, so I'm not entirely sure. I've been keeping a very good line of communication with them, but it seems as though things have gone awry. I have not heard anything from their leader, Enoch. Enoch.
Does the town have a strange relationship with the Myconids?
Well, not normally, no. Up until recently with the events here, we've had a reasonably good relationship with Belgrove. But a lot of the commoners, with their conspiracies, think that maybe they're the reason for this plague and the current disaster we've found ourselves here within the last few days.
Well, I don't know what conspiracy means, but got it. Right. And who is the leader's name?
Oh, Enoch. Enoch is their leader.
Enoch. Right. Just said that. Eh.
And as Merwyck is looking at you, what's your passive deception?
Deception.
Yeah, I don't know if you can.
I can. I just left my phone on the charger while I walked away.
That's fine. You have an 11 for your passive deception. So, looking you over, because you haven't mentioned anything yet, you can see Merwyck kind of somewhat analyzing you, and he says to you, have you confronted the skull blooms out there already? You don't look well.
See, sir. If you're asking if I am infected, that is correct.
Oh dear. Well, it's a good thing you've stopped by here then. I believe I can help you with this. If you don't mind me, maybe casting some nature magic on you.
Nature magic? Are you a druid?
I am, yes.
If it can help me and my... Well, it was just 3 of us, right?
Yeah, right now it's just the 3 of you. At the moment,
Yeah, Gordon didn't get infected also.
Me and two of my brethren were infected by this disease.
Okay. That is very unfortunate, but it's a good thing you've stopped by here. I can definitely help you with that if you don't mind. And if you're willing to, he will go ahead and cast a spell on you to try and help you remove this disease on you.
Not trusting of outsiders, but he is very trusting of magic that get rid of diseases.
Okay. So, I'm going to... Just because I like the spell effects here, I'm going to see if this works. I have Merwyck on this screen at the moment. And this should... Oh, I got to target a token. Give me a second here. There we go. Oh, I got to be right next to you. All right, here we go.
Is it a test effect?
Yeah. So Merwyck reaches a hand out and then starts to mutter some words and makes somatic gestures, and then touches you. And as Merwyck touches you, you can feel a rush of like fresh air and wind wrap around you. It's nothing too grandiose, but suddenly, as the wind whips through you and you can feel this rejuvenation go through, you can feel whatever this fungus was that was within you, it starts to just kind of evaporate away from you. And you don't feel as though you are infected anymore. And Merwyck goes, that looks so much better. You should stop probably sweating within the next few minutes, and you should already start to feel better. If any of your companions are also infected, I can help one more of them for the day. I have very limited uses of this ability, this spell from nature, but I can cure one more of you for the time being, and then probably another one tomorrow if need be.
Speaking of them, if you don't mind, let me see if they're around.
Yeah, and as you scan, right, because Merwyck was more facing the door and you were kind of looking into the longhouse, you can see Terex over to the side of the building and already petting the dog.
Yeah. She raises her voice a little and speaks in Draconic. Terex, come here with Zix.
And Merwyck...
Just hit in front of me. I knew where he is, right?
Not necessarily. He rolled a 21, so unless you actively look for him, your passive perception isn't going to help you out with that.
I mean, I think I could hear him. I mean,
Oh yeah, you can hear Haggett. Sorry, go ahead, Mike.
So I don't see him.
No. Yeah, but you do hear Haggett call. Ooh, excuse me. Call for both of you.
All right, Six, let's go, and I'll make my way over.
Zig's kind of scared and kind of wanting to keep his hidden space, but being forced out basically reluctantly goes along.
Okay.
You
And
can just see the dog giving him a sniff as he goes by, too.
oh yeah, yeah. Sniffs, and then the Mastiff just kind of trots along after you, Terex, since you were being quite affectionate with him. And Merwyck turns and sees this. Terex sees you was petting the Mastiff there for a little bit, and he goes, "Oh, a fellow dog lover, I see, huh? That's good. That's good. I'm grateful to see that."
He's a good boy.
Yeah, he is definitely a very good boy. And my good boy's name here is, 1 minute as I pull up the name, Shelby. Shelby! And he, does a couple snaps with the finger, and Shelby immediately leaves you and trots over to his side and just plops down next to him. So, who else of you is infected with this unfortunate disease? And
Both of them are.
Okay, well then. Unfortunately, I am only able to help one of you for the remainder of this day. Although, if you decide to stay the night and maybe help protect the Longhouse, or find some other means to cure this disease, I can help one of you for now and one of you tomorrow.
But I have started experimenting on these shrooms with the alchemy. It's gonna take some time.
Ah,
Also, that one window, 6 points, it is very, very crappy.
so who's getting the lesser restoration spell? That's what you were hit with, Haggett, before. Who wants it?
I mean,
Who has the higher con? Oh, who has a lower con? Would probably
yeah, I
be
have
better
higher
person.
con save, and I think it's also good, kind of thematic, because Zix is pretty sure that with enough time he can work out the cure himself.
So, Zarek?
All right, so Terex, looks like you're
Oh.
up for healing
Yes.
then?
Sure, I'll take it.
Okay. So, Merwyck raises up his hands, utters some incantation in the Druidic language, and again, you as well feel just an evaporation, within minutes, you are feeling this cure run through you, and whatever spores and fungus were growing within inside you have either been destroyed or have been forced out of your body as this wind whips lightly and gently whips around you, and you feel suddenly a whole lot better.
Thank you.
Oh, my pleasure. Especially anyone for anyone that's a dog lover, of course. Unfortunately, my little friend, and Merwyck looks at Zix, we'll have to hopefully get you healed up tomorrow at some point. And what did you say, Mike?
Oh, I forget.
Okay. So, Merwyck looks at the three of you. What's the plan here? What are you all doing? You heading into the mountain?
Zix, while I trust that you could actually solve the conundrum, I think that we should stay here the night and just bet on the sure thing.
Yeah, so I prefer if we went if we were all at the top, if we're going to a village of enemies.
At least get me some more samples of these rooms so I can work again. And in the meantime, be able to help fortify. Alright, who has saws? We might need them. I'm gonna just go around and reinforce the barricades with my proficient carpenter's tools.
Okay.
If you're in need of more samples, we could move about the town, checking the houses.
Yes, you do that. Meanwhile, I get better barricades going.
As you guys are finishing up talking here and looking to begin barricading the windows again, you start to hear. Give me perception checks, actually, and I will have that here. Go ahead and roll perception. Remember, if you get below your what would be considered the floor, your minimum or average perception check, you use the minimum instead. So for like Zix, you would use your minimum rather than what you rolled.
Yeah, so 14.
Okay. Haggett and Terex, amongst all the chatter that's going on between Merwyck and the commoners and whatnot, you two are able to hear this. You hear the moans and groans of the Sporeborn, the skull blooms again. And the noises are getting louder as they seemingly are rushing towards this longhouse themselves. And there are going to be roughly... Let's see here. As you hear these noises between the two of you, you rush out and count that from the woods around the building and maybe from some of the abandoned houses, roughly 6 of the Sporeborn are starting to rush towards this longhouse.
We got unwelcome company.
What do you do in this moment between the two of you while, let's see here. Zix, while you are distracted by what's going on, Haggett and Terex, what do you two do now that you have a chance to kind of see what's coming towards the building and what you hear?
Is the door secure?
Yes, it seems as though the door's secure. When they let Haggett in, they pushed everything back, but from what you can gather and what you understand, that's a lot of them coming. Now, they're not all coming from the same direction, so it's kind of spread around the building. But you're getting an idea that, this house is being swarmed from all sides.
I'm going to get the mayor and have her usher the people upstairs and take the dog too.
Unfortunately, there is no upstairs. It's just one floor for this building.
Right, longhouse. You build long, not up, apparently. Are there any fortified positions within the place?
Not necessarily. Probably the most fortified would be in the center of the building, where they can be away from the windows or anything that could break through the walls or the doors.
And I guess that's there then.
Are there any windows I can look through?
You don't get a full... none of the windows are completely open. That's why you had to... Zix and Terex had to squeeze through the one window that they did.
But is there enough room in any of them for a murder hole?
Yeah, you could definitely snipe through if you, if you had like a bow or a crossbow, you could definitely snipe through them if need be.
Okay.
Or spells.
I have
spells. Yep.
I have a crossbow that does 320 feet at disadvantages and 80 feet at normal.
I think you technically also have the Sacred Flame that does...
Yeah, but that's 50 feet.
Yeah, and save. You don't have to attack. And since the zombies are trying to also behind barricades, you will have less opportunity to hit. So, Sacred Flame, especially if zombies are slow, might be better.
Yeah, I was just gonna use my crossbow until they were in range of Sacred Flame.
Okay.
How far is the tree line from us?
The tree line is quite a distance. You definitely would need, if you were to run at a full sprint, it would take you probably a little bit to get there. But here's what we're going to do, how to handle this one, because there's so many people inside of this longhouse. There's so many NPCs for me to deal with. I don't know if any of you are familiar with the D&D 4E term of a skills challenge.
Yes.
I've heard of it, but...
Okay. What about you, Flame? I didn't quite hear your answer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I use them quite a bit.
Okay, perfect. All right, so I'm just going to explain this so Hair Doctor knows how this works. So, for a skills challenge, there's going to be a target DC that you have to hit in order to get a success. You're going to need so many successes and to win the skills challenge, and so many failures to lose the skills challenge. Now, depending on what happens, obviously a success will deal with the results some way, one or the other. With a failure, that could be something bad's going to happen to you or to the villagers or whatnot. So in this case, there's the three of you, and I believe, how's it set?
There's three of us, 8 villagers, the druid, and the dog.
Yeah, so it's just going to be you three. You could use any of your skills to direct people to do stuff. You could potentially use magic, but this would come in forms of, like, if you have magic, you could use arcana or religion, however you want to maneuver it. But generally, you're going to use your highest skills to get a success based off of my target DC that you won't know. In order to pass the check, you'll use a skill. So for instance, the beginning of the skill will be, I'm going to use acrobatics to dodge through some stuff and do something. All right, cool. You'll be using your acrobatics, your roll, pass or fail, you've got it. The person that goes after, like say, Zix does an acrobatics check, they can't use acrobatics because you had used it, but they're available to use anything else at their disposal. And if the check comes back around to you, you can't use the same skill that was used before you, and you can't use the skill you just used. So if it comes back around to Zix, you can't use acrobatics again, and you can't use, let's say, deception if whoever went before you used deception. Make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Okay.
So basically, one of us has to pick a skill.
Yeah. So I have a target DC already picked out. And the three of you go ahead and put yourselves in initiative. We're going to use the combat tracker to determine who goes first and whatnot. I'll go ahead and put Haggett.
Zaczynamy countering your scene.
I already got Haggett in the combat tracker. Oh, Terex with a 24.
Right.
Alright, Zix, I got you as well. Just go ahead and roll initiative. Haggett with a 17, and Zix with a 13. Okay. So the NPCs are kind of doing their own thing, which doesn't influence the skills challenge here. It's all primarily focused on you guys. Although, if you do use one of your skills to, say, persuade the NPCs to do something, that can help benefit one way or the other. Entirely up to you. So, Terex, since you are first to go here, how do you want to affect this skills challenge? And by the way, you'll need 4 successes or 3 failures to pass this skills challenge.
Is there a door in the back of the longhouse?
Looking around, there is, but it's already heavily barricaded. But as you're listening, you can hear that Some of these skull blooms are attacking the back door, some of them are attacking the front door, and then a couple of them are coming and trying to get into the windows as well.
Alright, I'm going to use animal handling to get Shelby down to the back end where it's heavily barricaded and start barking to draw the other skull blooms away.
Okay. Go ahead and give us an animal handling check.
Not good.
Ooh, unfortunately, that is going to be a failure. You go to try and command Shelby, but unfortunately, Merwyck has already called Shelby to do something, and Shelby is quite loyal to her master. And you can see that Merwyck points her off to go do something else of import to them. All right, so that is one failure, and animal handling has been used by Terex. Haggett, you are up next. Go ahead and decide on your skill.
A real quick question. Are there anyone holding weapons among the NPCs?
The only one that looks like they're holding a weapon is Merwyck. All the other commoners have improvised weapons, so to say. You know, maybe they have a frying pan or a broom or something. Nothing that... The closest thing might be a pitchfork if there's a couple farmers in the area, or in the longhouse with you.
What I want to do is command the villagers to where the infected are trying to get through the windows and whatnot, try and stab them through the holes. I want to try and use persuasion for that.
Yeah, if you want, you could either do persuasion, deception, or intimidation, whichever you feel more comfortable with.
Intimidation.
Okay.
Oh.
Oh no.
I don't have a point to reroll that too.
Yeah, no, unfortunately not enough. But actually, that reminds me, Terex, because your skills check did fail, I'm going to give you a luck point. So you now have 1 luck point to use next time. Haggett, you also get 1 luck point. I'm trying to remember here. So unfortunately,
you should get a 2.
Yeah, it goes to natural 1.
Oh, I know, right? Unfortunately, I don't think they have anything for critical fails like that, as far as I'm aware. So, with that, you try to rally and intimidate the commoners, the villagers in here, and some of them are already scared, and they just kind of shut down immediately. You start to intimidate them and trying to get them to follow your orders, and they just are deer in headlights, just blank-faced, unfortunately. So, as that goes on, Zix, you are up next. You are unable to use intimidation for your next skill, but you can choose anything else.
If I choose 2 skills, do these also apply?
Say again?
If I use 2 skills, does this also apply?
Yes, it could apply, depending on how you want to use it.
I'm gonna use my Tinker's tools to create a device that will make a really annoying sound that will draw the zombies away and check it through the window.
Sure, alright, that sounds good.
And I get the bonus D8.
Yes.
So... base...
Oh, natural 20.
Wait. So a D8.
Wait for it. With a 5 for a total of 31. Awesome. Yes, so
basically everybody in the village can hear this.
Oh yeah. With lightning speed, Zix, you somehow fabricate this little sound-making device, and you're able to chuck it through a window. You rush over and you throw it, and it does. You hear this thing. What kind of noise is it making, by the way?
I think it's basically like an alarm clock, but instead of telling time, it just makes noise.
Okay.
Like
so
the one that has the bells.
Yep. The typical ding 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 noise.
Yeah.
So you make this device and you chuck it through the window, And it does. It starts to make the noise, and the couple of the skull blooms that were near this window, or maybe even towards the back or the front, depending on where you are in this position, they start to get distracted and go towards this device and start to meander away from the building. So that's 1 success and 2 failures. All right, up next for this next round is Terex. Now, you've used animal handling for your first time, and Zix used a Tinker's Tools. What would you like to do?
Alright, so I'll have Merwyck instruct the villagers to get down if they're not doing anything important and be like stealthy. So
Okay.
I'll do a stealth check.
Okay, sure. Okay. So, do you feel confident with a 13 that that's going to pass?
Oh boy.
Absolutely yes.
Okay. I only ask because you do have a point of luck here, and you could add that point of luck to this check if you wanted to, just as a reminder of how the luck system works. So,
And I'll add a point of luck.
it's up to you. You don't have to. I'm just letting you know. It's because this is like a weird tweener spot of it could be a pass, it could be a fail. How confident do you feel that your 13 is a pass?
Nope, I already used that luck point.
Okay, so your 13 becomes a 14, and that is indeed a pass. So you call over to Merwyck to get these villagers to get down low and instruct them to start stealthing around and getting out, trying to hide from the visual, the windows, anything visible for these skull blooms here. And sure enough, some of the commoners, the villagers that were in a deer in headlights, once they hear Merwyck's voice, they kind of snap out of it and they start getting down low and doing what they need to do and start moving about. So that is 2 out of 4 successes and 2 out of 3 failures. We move on to Haggett. Haggett, you can't use... Let's see here. You're unable to use a stealth check.
Sin or stealth?
Yep, you got it.
Okay. I was thinking about this. Is there any place I see that being pushed through the most right now? Like the front doors or one of the windows?
The doors definitely seem like they would be the most insecure at the moment. Obviously, these skull blooms have some recollection of how houses work, so they're definitely trying to get in through the doors.
Okay. So I get pushes to the main door and pushes against it in an effort to pull them off for now.
Okay.
Afterwards. That's a 19, I believe. Is that rolled?
Nothing rolled on my end yet, but
No.
you saw a 19 on your end?
I rolled a 15 then plus 4.
Okay. All right, yeah, sure enough.
Might
Then.
just-
With that, I'll take the 19, perfectly fine. And yes, you start to feel that maybe there's a couple skull bloom here that are just bashing and trying to push their way in. They can just smell the untainted people in here and trying to spread this disease. But as you get in here and start to bulk up against the barricade, and maybe a couple other more burly commoners come and help you, they push up against the door, and this is another success for this. We are now at 3 of 4 successes and 2 of 3 failures. Zix, you are up. What would you like to do?
I don't know if I can technically do this, but I think with my knowledge of carpentry, I can try to reinforce any and all barricades I can see within, especially the one that I just struck the clock through.
Now, how would you
using
go?
carpentry tools.
How would you go about doing that?
Well, you said that the barrels. Maybe I can dismantle some barrels and use them as a material to also barricade the things, but I don't have carpentry tools, so
Yeah.
that's why I'm asking you.
Well, here's the other thing. Because these all fall under the tools skills. I wouldn't allow the tools to be used again because it following the skills checks rules. Yeah, so unfortunately you would have to pick something else that you're definitely very proficient with to use as a skill instead. So at the moment you can't use tools and you can't use what was it? Stealth? No, athletics. Athletics was also used.
I do have investigation, and I can try to point out the weak points in defenses to reinforce by the villagers.
Sure, sounds good to me.
And could I... And also, I know that I'm once again asking you for if tools apply because I have carpentry, so I think that it should at least the base knowledge tell me which points are not so much fortified as the others.
Right. Oh yeah,
Use
yeah.
the D8.
And that's coming from your
Just because I'm proficient in carpenter's tools and technically I could relate that to carpenter's tools, the check I'm doing.
trying to decide how to go about this one. Yeah, all right. Yeah, we'll just go ahead and throw that in.
Yeah, throw a D8 in. Okay, so this and...
Oh no.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so we're at a 7 with a 7.
Oh,
So
that's 14, so...
do you feel confident with a 14?
You know what? Just so we can round it out, I'm gonna use a luck point and make it a 15.
Okay. So, using your luck point and investigating the area, you look around and you do see that that one particular window that both you and Tarek snuck into, that's the weakest point right now, and that wasn't refortified after you had gotten in. And you quickly call over to maybe a couple some of the villagers or whatnot, and rush over and start to barricade that in and get that really shored up and closed as the a skull bloom or two did notice this and started to make their way to that window, but you quickly close and slam that shut, and sure enough, that is the final success that you need. And with that, you have 4 successes and 2 failures, and easily and quickly take care of this skills challenge. And as you all start to, we kind of go into like a montage here of, people are calling out orders and directing people here and there. And luckily within, I'd say the next, 10 to 20 minutes, it does take a little bit of time, but you are able to fend off these skull blooms, and they eventually just leave out of boredom, so to say. So, after so much time, they just kind of give up and start to meander away.
They think through this. We can get easier meals after lots and lots.
Say that one again, Flame?
They was sick of this and figured they could get an easier meal after lots and lots.
Yeah, it seems that might be the case.
I mean, do we care?
Yes, at least Haggett does. So that's probably going to be a next text point.
So, as the tension finally starts to calm down and everyone has a moment to compose themselves, there's a couple of the villagers that might be crying or some of them are upset. Merwyck walks back over to the 3 of you and he goes, "Well, I can see that you are all here to definitely help the town out, and you have proven yourselves to be a huge asset to us all, and I appreciate the help. If you're gonna stay here for the rest of the night, I would be more than happy to help heal any wounds or cure any diseases that you may have been exposed to, and we'll get you going, get you ready to head into the mountains if you're going to go that way." Is that the plan? You guys want to hang out here for the night?
Yeah, I mean, Zix got his samples he wanted. he wanted, so staying here sounds fine. Actually, I do want to check the lots and lots just in case they did get attacked.
You're peering through the windows, or you want to actively go there and check?
Haggett will actually go there and check.
Okay, so that's what Haggett's going to end up doing in the meantime?
Since Zix is also gonna go out, he goes with Haggett because one, he could get samples to experiment on later, and two, it's a dumb idea to go alone, just saying.
Split the party.
Terex just sighs and follows.
Okay, so you convince Merwyck to let you out, and he gives you a code of how to knock on the door to let them know that it's you when you're returning. So he tells you a special knocking code to get you in there when you return. He says to you, all right, well, be safe and come back soon. It's going to be extremely dangerous out there. Best of luck. Hopefully I'm sure they're doing okay. They've been good so far. And he gets a couple of the commoners, the villagers there, to open up the door and let you outside to start walking out to the out back to lots of lots. Now, have you guys ever seen the movie Poltergeist?
Nope.
I believe I heard of it. I haven't seen it.
Okay, I'm sure I know Mike has, but there's a scene in that movie towards the end when things are going really crazy, where the mother is trying to run down the hallway in the second floor of their house to try and save the daughter, and the hallway just kind of stretches on forever. Something happens. Something happens to you guys, and as you're looking from lots of lots to lots of lots, it just, the distance stretches out in front of you, and it's like, my God, it's gonna take at least 2 weeks to get to lots of lots. And that's where we're going to end tonight, folks.
It's a lot of way to get to lots of knots.
It really is.
Later, they're all breathless, wondering why the hell it took so long.
Is sad that I saw this was going to 2 weeks?
No, it's not sad. You know me by now.
And
Actually, it might take longer, right, since we're skipping the next one?
yeah, because
Yeah, Christmas is coming up, so if my other group delays for some reason, I'll let you guys know when we're playing next again. But
okay.
yeah, it might not be until, unfortunately, January, the new year, when we can start back up again. So yeah, this journey to lots of lots is going to take about 2 to 4 weeks or so.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say, guys, you gotta trust me more.
Right?
'Cause I'm an engineer.
This is your fault.
He's an engineer.
You
I
can't
mean,
engineer your problem.
I haven't failed a single time.
Okay.
You can't blame me for this.
You somehow engineered the path to make it 2 weeks longer.
It's that device. We'll hear it the entire time.
Oh yeah, the chirping, dinging device.
That's my boss. I can make our way out of this one.
Thank you so much for watching this episode of Tales of the Valiant with the Everside Questers Bravo team. If you like what you've seen, go ahead and drop a like, throw a comment in the comment section, and subscribe to see more crazy antics and other adventures for the group here. If you want to see more campaign antics and silliness from my group and our campaigns in any TTRPG that we offer here on the channel, go ahead and click on one of these links here and enjoy yourselves. Until then, we'll see you next time.